Hi everybody, I'm going to start right in. On today's technique, we're actually going to be coloring embossing. We're going to be using white embossing and coloring it with our Spectrum Noir markers. So the first thing we're going to do is put down our EK Success powder, which is going to stop the embossing powder from sticking anywhere but on the Versamark ink that we're using. And I know a lot of you know, but some people don't know that the Versamark ink is a clear sticky ink that allows the powder that we're going to use to stick to it, okay? And sometimes, like on this black sheet, it's hard for you to see because of the distance I'm away, but as I was stamping it, I could see the wet outline from the ink pad, you know, from where I stamped. So I could place where I needed the stamp to go to give the look that I was trying to get along the side there. Alright, and so what I do now is I'm pulling over my Wow Opaque White embossing powder, and it's super fine, but it's so bright white it'll stand out, okay? And then you really want it to be as vibrant of a white that you can get, so that way when you're coloring with your markers it just seems like it pops off the page. And this particular technique, I got it from looking around like the different blogs on Pinterest and stuff like that. So it's definitely, you know, I guess other people have known about this, but I'm just finding out. So now we're going to heat it up, because once you put the powder over your image, you got to heat it up in order to set it. And then I just go over each flower, making sure not to stay in one spot too long, because it really, once your heat tool is heated and it's warmed up, it doesn't take long for the embossing powder to melt. And I always go through once more and then also hit it just a little bit from the back, so that way it'll keep some of the warping down. And then all you do is rub your hand along the cardstock to remove any of that powder. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out a couple of Spectrum Noir markers. This one that I'm using right here, the first one is going to be FL1, and we're just going to color right on top of the embossing. I'm telling you, I was in awe of this technique when I saw it. I was like, wait, I never thought of that, because your alcohol markers, like, okay, water-based or inks of any kind that you use with the embossing will create a resist, right? We've all seen the embossing, and then you color with your Tim Holtz Distress inks, and the ink won't stay on top of the embossing, right? You can wipe it off with a paper towel, dry paper towel, and the white comes back vibrant. Fantastic, awesome. But with alcohol-based coloring, which is your Spectrum Noirs, your Copics, it sticks to the embossing powder. So that's how we're getting this color on top of the actual white embossing, and it doesn't come off. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. So, like, say you don't have a certain color in your markers or in your embossing powders that will match some paper that you have, but you have a marker that matches. So whatever the image that you're trying to color in, you can emboss it in white and then color it with the marker, and you have a matching stamp to the paper that you're using. I think it's ingenious. Okay, so for this blue, we're using the BT5, and this one came out, it was a little bit lighter because this one isn't a fluorescent. That first one color is a fluorescent. That FL1, that's one of the fluorescent colors, so it had a little bit more kick to it. But I just wanted to show you just how easy it is to get this color down. And the best part with it being on the black cardstock is if you get off of the embossing, you can't really tell anyway because it's black cardstock. So on this next flower, we're using actually like a yellow kind of, I guess it's like a greenish yellow. It's C as in cat, G3 is the one that we used for this one. And at first I was just going to do all three the same color, and then I was like, nah, I think it'll be more fun to see what it does with different colors, you know, because unless you plan on always doing your card with that one color, you won't know how it reacts. So here we have 3 very pretty flowers with the spectral markers and embossing white embossing powder. You know, I'm stumbling because I'm just amazed with how it works. So I went off camera real quick and I used my label punch to create my sentiment, and all I'm gonna do with this is attach my sentiment and add a few sequins, and you have a wonderful card with this great technique. And you could do this with any stamp. If it's got a, you know, more white, then you're gonna have more color and more vibrancy. Please, I want everyone to try this. This is so awesome. Well, thank you again for watching today's video. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you, and you guys have a great day.